And hello, everyone. Welcome back to FPL in the Trenches, the Frontline Prediction League in the Trenches. I am your co-host, Scott. Joining me, as always, is BeerMe. How are you doing today, BeerMe?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself, Scott?
I'm doing good. I'm tired. And as we've been saying on the past couple recordings of everything we've done, there's just not enough time right now with deadlines coming up. Because, the holidays are here, but that's part of it when you leave town. I'm not doing any of this stuff while I'm out. So there's a lot of stuff that has to get done beforehand. But yeah. It's a good problem to have. Tis the season. But this is one of those things. This is the Frontline Prediction League. It's the Frontline League on Twitter. Frontline Prediction League is the YouTube channel you're watching it on right now. We appreciate that. Like, favorite, subscribe, all that fun stuff. The Discord down through that gets you into the Frontline Prediction League Discord, which is also shared for Top of the Card. There's a new episode of that recorded last night, talking about everything from the rumored return of Vince to William Regal coming back to Mandy Rose stuff. A lot of stuff's in there, plus our thoughts on the actual final battle and the actual deadline. That'll be going up relatively soon, because it's going to be edited before these deadlines, like I said. Check that stuff out. It's all in a shared Discord as well. There's character chat for this show in there, for the Frontline Prediction League. Lots of stuff in there. We do like all that stuff. We appreciate all that. But let's dive in, BeerMe, because like I said, we're on kind of a limited time thing here. We got to do this, and we're doing it it's 7 o'clock. It's not 9 o'clock like normal. We're trying to get this stuff done early, so we got a double shot of shows. We got Final Battle, and we do have Deadline. The last two shows of 2022 for us. Our second year is complete with these two. January 1st is the anniversary, so that is coming up. That's a wild thing to think about, but the last two shows finished off. An ROH show, we started the year not even knowing if we'd have any of those. And an NXT show, we started off the year not knowing what those would be like. So, very, very interesting, a double ending of those two when it comes down. Excuse me, when it comes down to it. Excuse me. But let's dive in, BeerMe, because we've got the FPL European Grand Prix Championship. We do have a successful defense by James Blake. He retained over Mark Harper of the Strays. So, he finishes the year as champion. Spoiler, not everybody does that at Deadline. We'll get there, though. We'll get there. Blake retains. Blake will defend next at Hard to Kill in January. We've established that a while back now. That's the Impact show. That's the next European title defense. He will be the one defending there. And who's it against? Matt Zion. Matt Zion. Matt beat El Cid, Payne, and Red. And people can probably hear it, because I know I can. There's a bit of an echo, BeerMe. I can hear a bit of myself coming through that. I don't know if some kind of feedback from your end. Just, It's minor, but if I can hear it, it's recorded. So I'm like, oh, interesting. I'll just keep going, because if you hear it, that's how we know if it's going to happen or not. It's not happening now, so as soon as I said it, it's not a thing. But Matt is that dark horse that we're both like, he's probably going to win, right? And he did.
Yeah.
He won. He could be the European champion come January 13th for all his craziness of anything. That makes no sense to me, but there you go. It was my points, so it didn't, there wasn't a capture in a ladder match or anything. It was points-based, but, excuse me. Red was a last-minute addition into that match. We did have a no-show in there, regretfully, so. Or was that the one? God, we had a no-show on the other one. And Red filled in on this one. There was a no-show on the other. We had a couple no-shows, and it sucks. Stuff happens. We understand things come up, and we'll roll with it. We'll deal with it. It's all good. Let us know beforehand if stuff comes up. Let us know afterwards, whatever we can do. When someone no-shows, the very first thought we have is, I hope they're okay. Legit, I hope everything's fine. And thankfully, the majority of it is. It's sometimes people just are busy or don't have time for it and don't do it. Like Rab. Rab hasn't done a show in a while, and I talk to him here and there, but he's busy. He's not doing it. So it happens. It happens. Right. We don't want people not there, obviously, but opportunity knocks, but it did not knock for Red. Red lost the worst of the three, losing 19, 21, 26, 32. So Matt Zion, with his patented crazy randomness of picks of just number down, won Ultimate X. So he also won an Ultimate X match. Let's put that into the record as well, BeerMe. So that's, it's crazy.
Hats off to them.
Yeah. Now, non-title match, Chef Urban, the world champion, did defeat Mad Elite Titan. He is someone who I faced and didn't fare well against. But Chef Urban did win, so Urban is bucking the trend of the champions losing non-titles. So I like that. I like seeing that. That's cool. That's cool. Atlas Kiyama defeated Ralantando. That's pretty impressive given the history these guys have had and the back and forth that we've seen in the character chat, which again is in our Discord. Ralantando, like I said, force of nature. Do not double down on him. Do not doubt him. He usually does win. So Atlas coming on strong, getting that win is awesome to see. Sebastian Escobar defeating Theodore, Dr. Zeus Geisel. Non-title, again, the Canadian champion, also coming out strong and winning in the non-title match. I generally pick Escobar. We both kind of had thoughts of maybe Geisel getting it, but Escobar was the one we really picked. GMSG did defeat Alexander McKennedy by 2 points. That's one bonus, basically, or like a 2-pointer match. That's it. So he did win, leading into the deadline title match. James Costner beat Detrick Cyrus, another big win for Costner. Costner, I say it every time, he's the most dangerous one out there. Detrick really came close, but he's that guy. He keeps winning. Even though he's won and lost titles, he hasn't missed a step, I guess is the way I'm trying to put that. CJ Hawk defeated Scherfdog. Big win for Hawk after some of the history they've had as well. Watson Rules, Rate Wrestle beat me. Yeah, I screwed up. I screwed up bad. Rate got me good. He beat me very solidly on that. And yeah, it happens. Good for Rate. Basically shut me down, so good on him there. BeerMe, though, you and I almost said Dear Me Blade. Dion Blade went to a no contest. 22-22. So double count out is like how we got it written. Yeah, so GMSG won by 2 points, and you went to a draw with Dion. Not exactly the strongest situation going into the tag title defense, but win's a win. And a no contest is a no contest, which would retain. So neither of those were poor outcomes, potentially.
Weird show overall. So
NXTs are weird too, though. So that didn't help in coming. We do have Lexi Briggs defeating Luke Gray in the Arbiter. Good win for her, 27-23-13. Jason Blades beat Bastion. That's a huge win because it's Bastion.
That's a really good win.
I say it every time, but I love seeing Jace win. I love that. That's awesome. I love this one. Midnight Rider beat Ash. Non-title, and that's the American champion, Ash, who just retained over Bastion, lost to the Midnight Rider. On AEW, or on ROH, rather, so it's a bit different when you get to the house shows, and it doesn't really count in the standings, but Ryder's been doing great aside from that, so that's a fun one. I'm biased on that one. Jonathan C.T. Martin beat Captain Krulex Blackwill 20-16. Bane the Bishop beat JD, which shocked me because JD, like I said, he's that good, but 35 points for Bane is one of the higher scores we've seen here. Consider that Chappers and CM Carlito got a total of 24. That's 1 point higher than JD's 23. Right? So, yeah. But Bane got a very, very solid win there. Again, these are house shows, so they don't count towards things in much of anything. But it makes us go, oh, can they do it on a main show? So that's where some of the logic comes through. The Brits, as mentioned, Papa Snooch and the Gaffer did defeat Chappers and CM Carlito 47-24. Wookie beat Broken Nerd, another one of those, oh my god, kind of wins, 21-18. Good on Wookie there. Supreme Rock beat the Alpha Dog 26-23. Danny the Late Jordanson beat J-Mac 21-17, keeping his roll running.
He's on a roll.
Yeah.
Straight roll, yeah.
And newcomer Dahlia beat Mers. There aren't two R's, so I'm not going to say Murmurs, but Mers. 30-16. We've got achievements. We got El Cid winning or having a 10th match. McKennedy and Bane both having the 50th. Matt Zion winning an Ultimate X, as mentioned. Rate winning a Watson Rules, so he won his first one ever there. James Blake defended a title successfully, and Bane the Bissa, because of that super high score I mentioned, and also JD's being high, had match of the night. So JD already had it. Bane got it for the first time. Excuse me. So, as I take a drink here, the results of this were mostly pre-written, except for some endings, and in most cases we had multiple endings worked out because this show was coming out basically as it was happening because we needed it to be out before deadline hours later. And hours later. So this was pretty much already set in stone. A lot of it was already written. Things changed. Like I said, we had no shows happen, and you got to run with it. So it happens. And we run with it. And this was done, again, CT, Red, myself, did these write-ups, and there's my own loss, boo. But please go check these out. Please, please, please. I don't want to sit here and just recap all the stuff that happened in it because we want you to read them. Please read them. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun stuff, especially with the stuff about storyline stuff. And, King of the Ring. FPL King of the Ring is coming. I'll recap that because I got news on that toward the end of this very episode. So keep an eye out for that. There's Atlas and Ral, Urban and Mad Elite, the Ultimate X match, the Grand Prix Championship match, and yes, of course, at the end, we've got Zion versus Blake. Will be basically, I think it's our main event. I'm not 100%. Usually is the main event though when we have the European title. So that's Final Battle. It's a house show, but that's where a lot of fun stuff can happen. But it's a weird position where we're still kind of recovering and turning that corner towards WrestleMania season, which we've got a document with like the story beats in place where the shows are, with what has to happen where and when. So stuff is in there so that we make sure we've got everything covered. Because we like it's all trying to keep everything straight is not easy, and I admit many faults on that many times. It's stuff gets slipped, and if I do it, it's my fault, and I hate that being this, and I will never shy away from the fact that if I do it, I do it, and I own up to it. So stuff happens, and it sucks. So writing it in makes it better, and it's a way to do it. Not that it never isn't. We just don't pool it. So now it's being pooled in the proper way to make sure nothing gets missed. All is good there as we go into Deadline, because this was a main show. This one actually did have ramifications towards records and all that fun stuff. So Deadline, BeerMe. Hell, I didn't even ask you what your thoughts on Final Battle was. Like, coming out of that show, because I know you weren't confident going in. Coming out of that show, what were your feelings towards your tag title defense? Were you like, uh-oh, this could be a problem, or were you still confident?
I was a little nervous, but I mean, with an NXT show and only having 5 matches, it's literally, if you don't get a bonus right here and there, or if you pick something wrong, you're kind of just, you're screwed. So I wasn't so nervous of the fact that it was our opponents. I mean, I was a little bit because they're undefeated right now and they haven't been beaten. So I was a little worried, but overall I was more worried about just I overthought it too much. That's what I want to say. I overthought things a little too hard on this one, and I usually don't do that, but on both of these shows I overthought stuff a little too hard, and it ended up costing our group a few wins.
I did a similar thing as well. So as we'll see, I lost on this one too. It was not a good situation.
Yeah.
My promo talked about doing 2 Watson rules in the same day, and I lost both, and that's not a record I want.
But again, I said in chat, and I've said multiple times, at this time of the year, I don't know what it is. I can't predict for shit.
Same.
Just can't do it. Like, I mean, I did the only time I did was when I won the title against the Finn back in the day. And that was at Clash of Champions. And the only reason I won was because it was ladder match style rules. And my opponent, this is the last time Roman Reigns actually got pinned, lost to Baron Corbin. And my opponent put so much on him, and I only put like a few on him. And that's how I pretty much won that match.
So that's how far back that goes. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Every other year since then, luckily we did good at Survivor Series and that, but yeah, it's just it's the end of the year. I just can't get it right.
It's usually in the fall that I end up having trouble like that, and I did well going into the fall, but then winter has kicked my ass. So I'm in the same boat. I can write on that.
Usually from about Mania on, because last year.
Oh, my spring and summer are great usually. Yeah, yours are really strong too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about how your winter went. The FPL Continental Tag Team Championship. The MVP Alexander McKennedy and Dion Blade defeated the must-see good guys, BeerMe Jesus and the GMSG, 29-25. Like you said, 1 match wrong, and it's over. And
it wasn't even the fact that I picked Indy Hartwell to win. And me and GMSG just put way too much on Pretty Deadly. We just couldn't get a bonus right. To save our lives, we could not get one of the bonuses. Neither did our opponents. But our opponents did. Dion got Mello as the third person.
Yeah.
But we just couldn't. We had 4 different pots. We each split all of those, and we couldn't get one right. That's just how how it happens sometimes. It was rough. We were kind of upset in chat afterwards, but I mean, we're over it. We're it's gonna be a new year. You gotta turn the page, wipe the slate clean.
It's rebound. It's about rebounding,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, like you said, you couldn't get a bonus right, and I know we all overshot of us who were talking in like the voice chat. Even we all overshot on how many falls there would be combined, because that's one of our bonuses for
Oh my god, yeah.
the Iron Survivor matches, and it's like, oh, there was only like 5 in the first one. But then when they got to like 8 in the men's, like maybe they will get there, and they didn't. They didn't get it because your range was like 15 and up, I think, and I put something similar. So didn't happen.
19.
Yeah. So yeah, we have new FPL Continental Tag Team Champions, a team who has now won 5 straight, if I am correct, because of the first round, second round, third round final, or maybe I've added one in there. But these guys have never teamed before the tournament. They won the whole tournament and then beat the tag champs, who had the belt since May.
Yeah, that's off to them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Impressive.
That's awesome.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, and of course they want him back, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think you guys had the longest reign for the tag titles now. I think you've got that record.
Yeah, and we had 3 defenses. I want to say.
I think so. Yeah, because you
3.
defended against us again. Was it Shades and Smiles you defended against, and Black Cross Light?
We did defend against Focus.
I think that was it.
Yeah, it was 3. Yeah, we had 3. It was you guys. No, it was you guys, Symphony of Destruction, and Black
Symphony.
Cross Light.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, new champions for the new year. We'll see what happens with them because title defense is going to be coming up. We got only so many main shows before Mania where everything's defended basically, except for the European. That's going to be a thing we'll discover as we get there with however they do an ROH show. We'll see. But new champions, and let's scroll down. Championship retained. Watson Rules, Sebastian Escobar did retain over Chappers. So Escobar has retained the title. I think that's his 3rd defense as well. 4th, yeah. That's which is more than anybody, I think. So he's had this one for a while.
Yeah.
Fighting champion, keeps it from everybody. So awesome stuff there. I love seeing that.
He's the number 1 champ of our league. He's the A champ right now.
Yep.
So
yep. I'm not going to say he's the A champion. People will say I spelled it EH. I'm not doing it. I would do that if that would be my promo. But yeah. We do have a new number 1 world contender, though. The FPL World Championship number 1 contenders match. Josh Dionio defeated Bastion, Broken Nerd, and Bane the Bissa. Now, you might notice the name missing from that is Monkey Bong. Monkey Bong, unfortunately, no-showed. We didn't fill the gap. It's like this was the match. It was there, so that's who we ran with. And the scores were 14, 13, 11, and 10. And JD won.
The new day, man.
And JD did this last year and went on to the Rumble to challenge. Remember?
Did Bastion finish 2nd?
He did. By a point.
I know.
Yep. That's the story sometimes. Bastion was the guy always in there trying to get it, and now he can't. It's like, it's so close. It's actual, like, amazing accidental storytelling. But I love that JD's challenging at the Rumble again. Like, that's 2 years in a row. Right?
Yeah.
Like, what?
This time of year, I can't predict for shit. He predicts for shit on these. Like, he does very well.
We said going into this, JD's the one to watch out for because he wins these matches at this time. Bastion and Nerd you thought would have been good, and Bane you think would be able to pick it up, but nope, not this time. So JD is going on the challenge. We'll talk more about that as we go. But another championship. Yeah, I mean, I think Urban might be in trouble. I like Urban. I like this reign, but he's got to face JD, and this is like a classic thing where like Kurt Angle won the title for the first time, and now he's got to face the Undertaker, and he wins. But storyline wise, he's not going to beat the Undertaker. Like that's what this feels like. It's like here comes JD. Urban's numbers are his numbers up, but he'll probably win, but maybe not. It's JD. He's super good at this time of year, so. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. I like it. I love that fact. I love that. Like you couldn't have predicted that. Like, will it be him again? Yep. Just it's how it happened to go. So there you go. But back to championships being retained. The other singles title, the FPL American Championship, was retained by Ash in a submission match against CM Carlito. And it says there, 5-0. I do believe it's because Carlito got his 1 pointer wrong and he tapped out. We haven't had that in a little bit, but there you go. Because most submission matches have been like you and CT, where you both had the same things until you didn't. Good brothers. And stuff like that. So,
God,
yeah, we'll get there. Oh, that's the next show. Don't worry, we'll get to you guys. Crystal Lake Fight Pit, it's coming. But Ash did retain, which again, he's retaining these matches. Like he and Escobar, it has been awesome. These two guys as champions, and Urban now as well. Like it's wild. I like seeing these defenses rack up, because as much as I like seeing titles bounce around to show that people are all equally good, it's fun seeing champions retain too, right? Like there's a level of that. Like you guys just did retain your titles 3 times, so it's that feeling. Yeah. Next through we have Chef Urban in an untitled match, going the other way, losing in a 1-on-1 singles match on a main show to Luke Gray. Luke beat the world champion, and we didn't.
Yeah, that's big.
It's not like
big deal.
It's not like goofy stuff where it's like, oh, something else happened to cause that because it wasn't who we wanted to win. No, Luke wins. He wins. It's the write-up's fair for that. So that's awesome, because I've wanted Luke to win like this for a long time. We've been pulling for him for a freaking year. Remember the tournament, the Canadian champion tournament? Like, oh my god. So yeah, having Luke win this is awesome. I love seeing that. That is so cool. It's super fun. And of course, it's Chef Urban. He's got to defend against JD next. Well, he's got hard to kill, but then he's got to defend against JD. Does this rattle him? Is this the beginning of the end? And then, of course, Luke and JD. Well, that could be fun down the line, right? So, what happens next? It's some wild stuff. We've got next up Shades of Smiles. CJ Hawk and Lexi Briggs did defeat the Operation, Smooth Rock and Theodore Geisel. It was close. 26-22. But Shades of Smiles did continue to win. They've pretty much won everything except for the tag final, which is very good for that team to see where things go from here. So interesting to see where they go from there with a main show tag win.
Yeah, the tag division's surprisingly been built up pretty well. Like there's some heavy hitting teams out there now.
That's all thanks to that tournament. It just happened to work out in our favor with random draws of where they ended up. And then teams have been built from that. Teams that lost, like Light of the Cult lost, but then they went on a 3-0 tear. Like, they benefited from being out of the tournament. Admittedly, they faced people who weren't in it, right? Like, it's all a matter of like where the standings are in the booking, but they benefited, and that's good. And you see these teams coming up. It's awesome. So I'm thrilled by it, and it's... Your division got suddenly very, very busy, especially with Match of the Night leaving it, basically. Like, we're done. well, it's not like we'll never team again, but the tag titles are not in our future, so... I mean, new champions...
You got something coming to you soon.
Dude, I got weird...
We're both...
Hard to Kill has got weird, man. Yeah. We'll get there.
It's going to be good stuff.
Yeah.
Especially because you guys' avatars. It's
oh, it's perfect. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, we're almost there, because CT did defeat Roman Pierce 16-14. There's big history with these two. And then, Watson Rules. My opponent, Mad Elite, was not... He no-showed. Now, he was at Final Battle, so, stuff comes up, whatever. And I instead faced James Blake, the European champion, in a Watson Rules match. Non-title. And he beat me. So there I go, losing 2 Watson Rules in 4 hours. And one's a main show against a former champion, or current champion. Not good. Not good. If you were in our Discord, which again, you can get through the Discord channel down below, in our live event chat during the show, I was basically going, well, there goes Montreal. Because it's on my board still. I wanted the Canadian champion in Montreal. I really have to just win a contender match at Rumble, and that's the only way I'd even be considered, and I don't even think that's a thing. Like, realistically, one win after a loss, like, come on. So, yeah, albeit I'm probably not challenging. It's just flat out. So, but sometimes that's the story. And whoever I do face, it's still me in Canada. Come on. So, there'll be fun stuff there. But, yeah, Blake won. God damn it. Blake is really freaking good. It pisses me off a little bit how good James Blake is. He's brand new. So, like, yeah, that's awesome stuff.
hats off to him, man. I picked Mark Harper to beat him, and he proved me
Yep.
wrong. And he's just doing it. He could. Hey, congrats. Yeah, doing good.
Yep. Next up, speaking of tag division, BeerMe, we got 2 tag matches here. The Annex Asylum, Static and Captain Krulix Blackwell, defeated Symphony of Destruction, recent tag contenders. It's 38-30. And the other side of that is the Light of the Cult, Danny the Light Jordison and Kurt Cult, defeated La Familia members, former tag champions, Detrick Cyrus and the Alpha Dog. So it's kind of fun to see the new guys beating a former tag champ and a former Top Lock champ back in JRPL, and winner of the Rumble, right, first main eventer at Mania, versus, on the flip side, Light of the Cult, guys who were real major underdogs for a long time, going on a tear, continuing that win against the former tag team champions.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Light of the Colt, 3 in a row. Shout out. Yeah, shout out to Danny Light and Kurt Colt, giving them the decent.
The Cult saw the light, exactly. It's awesome.
And Annex Asylum.
And that's what I love about that with both these teams. It's a little bit of changing up the status quo. Because La Familia, I mean, like I said, former tag champs, they're awesome. This doesn't mean they're not awesome. They only lost by 3 points total, right? Don't knock that. Even the 8-point loss for Symphony Destruction, that doesn't. Like, they're not buried. They're not killed off from that. It's nothing. But another team won on a main show where rankings kind of matter. So it's like, okay, yeah, let's see where this goes. So these guys move up. You've got people gunning for the same titles that you just lost, and it's different people. It's
cool. Also with not to cut you off, but
with
Static and Captain, they almost pulled out the win for their team in Survivor Series. Like, it's all of a sudden, you look around the tag team division and I just see nothing but killers out there. So, and, there's a lot of sharks in a small pond,
And they avenged that loss against Sheriff Dog.
Yeah.
Because they beat him here.
Yeah,
so, like, that's not over. That there's still more to go there. But
tip of the cap to them as well.
Yep.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, they're all good.
Now, the rest of Infinity did do well. The Midnight Rider beat Ray Russell, so Lee helped out after I couldn't beat Ray Russell. He took care of things, so I appreciate that.
Shout out to Lee.
And then Red beat Mark Harper, who didn't win the Euro title, but Red's gunning on her range in there, definitely, going after the European. Lee beat the American champion, so he's clearly going after that one. I've said it for months I want the Canadian, but that's okay. So, like, if they both go after it, sweet, go nuts. I want to see the happiness there. We'll see what happens if they get the wins. Yeah. Yeah, Lee came back with a vengeance. Definitely. Okay. We're going to do. Next up. James Costner beat Matt Zion by a point. 14-13. The next four people here.
Some low scores on this card, by
the
way.
Tino beat J-Mac 20-15. Ralantando beat Mr. Glee 23-17. Jason Blades and Papa Snooch went to no contest 14-14. All of those would have beaten Matt Zion's 13. But Costner only had 1 point. And it's a matter of when the point is. With the BeerMe special, the 1-pointer, he got that win. Most other guys would have beaten him, but he got an opponent that he beat. And Matt's going after a title. Well, he lost to a former double champ, so it's Costner. Not surprised. So, but it's scary by a point. I've been there. I lost WrestleMania. My only WrestleMania loss was to Matt Zion. It happens. It's terrifying. And it's funny. So, as mentioned, though, Tino beat J-Mac. Ralantando beat Mr. Glee. Jason Blades and Papa Snooch went to no contest. Wookie beat Supreme Rock, also by a point, but Wookie's a monster. That's what he does. El Cid beat Michael Marsh. And the Gaffer beat Mers 16-13. The achievements, Luke Gray had his 50th FPL match. Static and El Cid had their 5th. James Blake won his 10th. Ash won a submission match. James Blake won a Watson Rules. So I lost 2 Watson Rules matches back-to-back against people in their first ever Watson Rules matches. And this wasn't my first and second. It was my second and third because my first Watson Rules was the tag one against you guys. I also lost that. Anyway, Static won his first tag match. Lexi Briggs won the 10th tag. Dion Blade won a championship, and McKennedy won the won the tag titles. Mr. Glee with a funny typo there that CT will fix once he sees it. It's got a colon instead of an L. He got match of the night for the first time. That's awesome. And then the write-up. So this one, again, CT, Red, and I do the write-up here. Forgive me if other people did submit stuff for the write-ups for this or the prior. I am unaware of it. I don't remember if anything did come from that. So we have had historically that, but I don't believe these ones had that. I'm not saying they don't. I just do not recall that. But I think this was all the standard stuff because of where the positioning of the card and the year is. But there is the write-up through here. It's all through. You can see my heartbreaking thing. I tapped to James Blake. And I say that because I've only ever tapped to BeerMe Jesus. For the record. I've never tapped otherwise. I tapped to the champ. And that was the decision I made. It's not like I refused to, but it's more like, oh, he made him pass out. No, I tapped out. It's better. If I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna lose. He earned it. That's my attitude towards it. I don't like it. I am blatantly pointing out stuff with the JRPL, but there's a lot of times when the write-up would seem to be not the way that was hoped for, and the write-up would seem to indicate some kind of shenanigans leading to the win. I hate that. Person won, they won. That's it. So that's weird, dirty laundry to air, but
Right.
It's not like it's hidden either. I've made that clear before, but that is the mentality behind this. Like, I lost. I'm going to tap out to him. Like, yeah, right. He earned that. So, and that furthers my story of losing 2 Watson rules. Oh, I even tapped out on the main card. Oh my God, that's my dream of Montreal is over. Exactly. Make what we can. I want to make losses even matter and build stuff on it. We want everything to matter for everybody if we can help it. So there's definite things there. Roman and CT had their match. Spike Piledriver with the CT slide. Backstage La Familia. Shenanigans going on. There's stuff going on there. James Black taking out history there. And Shades of Smiles in operation. Urban and Luke. Like I said, Urban got the win there. Backstage. Hey, Captain Krulix Blackwell did a thing. I told you I was going to have a ladder match. Casket match. I told you. Yeah, honestly, he reached out because I think you literally said, what if it was Krulix because of Undertaker? I think you suggested that. Or I did. I forget. But he reached out after that. It was like, hey, I'll do it. I'm like, okay. And then we made a story out of it.
Works.
So, yep. And it's Brett and Undertaker for avatars. So, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, we came up with the idea. And actually, he wrote most of this, and then we tweaked it to. So yeah, so that's coming up. We then have the American title match as well. King of the Ring is coming soon. We'll get there very, very shortly, I promise you. The world title contender, like I said, Monkey Bong, not medically cleared, so we move on from that, and the rest came out. Very, very fun match. And then the Canadian Championship being retained. Backstage with Escobar, he had stuff. Because we've got the original Canadian champion getting involved. So Ralantando making his emotions known, making his intent known, wanting to get that title, wanting to have Escobar prove himself against the first ever, because he is our first ever champion. And up until now, I'd say the Ralantando was the best. Escobar is knocking on that door. Right?
I mean, Smooth Rock had a
Smooth Rock was damn good too. They've all been real good. Let's be clear. But I think I still had Ralantando higher. But Escobar is knocking on that, and if he beats him, it kind of takes all doubt away, right? So,
the title's got a lot of prestige to it. I'm looking at it right now. It's whoever holds it is, yeah.
Yep. I want it, but yeah, we'll see. Someday. So that's obviously there, a match made. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And then the tag titles. Yeah, that honestly followed off of the matches prior, because, I mean, I'll say it. I wrote the singles matches for Final Battle, and then immediately wrote the Deadline one and went, well, I'm going to play off that. And yeah, went through there, and you guys, you lost the titles. Sorry to say, BeerMe, but you are no longer champion. You almost made it to the end of the year with the belts, but nope, not anymore. In the tag tournament, this is cool. The tag tournament produced winners that dethrone the champions. In and of itself, I like that. Because the whole point...
We'll be back.
Oh, yeah. Well, the whole point of it was we need new contenders for the tag team champions. They're beating everybody. Who else is there? We have none. Let's get a tournament going. And it ended up dethroning the champions. Well, that worked. It's not that we just wanted to find people to beat you. It's find people to challenge you. And they did. And they beat you. Cool. So now the division is stronger than ever. Mission accomplished. So it's pretty awesome. I'm very happy with all that. But next up is not hard to kill. Next up, we're going to talk briefly about the Medal Ceremony. Yes, this is the 2022 Medal Ceremony. That's what we call ours because it's Frontline. It's like the war theme type thing, which is not great with the invasion in Ukraine, but you know. The nominations for the FPL Medal Ceremony for 2022 starts on Friday. That's tomorrow. Probably by the time you're watching this, it's available right now. The list of nominees is right here. It is open until December 31st. 11:59 p.m. So you basically have until New Year's midnight. Ding. It's 2023. Too late to vote. You can only vote once. But I'll show you the page here in a second. It's live, but no one else has it. You'll see it on Friday. But the Superstar of the Year, the Tag Team of the Year, they're all in there. We'll talk about it briefly, how we kind of came up with these. Because BeerMe, I'm pretty sure you have no idea how we did it because you're not part of that. What we looked at for basically for Superstar and Tag Team, for the key part of it was the records and accomplishments of 2022. And it was generally for generally for main shows that mattered because house show matches don't matter. They might be unfair matchups simply because we're doing stuff for story. Those shouldn't count in that sense. So that's where it's only for the main stuff. And having a title win or defense goes a long, long way. And honestly, I think some names like Lee was close based on his record, but he didn't have a title, so it was like, well, he's out of there. And we went with the same number as last year, so it's 10 and 5 and so forth. So Superstar of the Year nominations are Alexander McKennedy, Bastion, BeerMe Jesus, Broken Nerd, CJ Hawk, the GMSG, James Costner, Jonathan C.T. Martin, Scott, and Sebastian Escobar. Tag teams, Match of the Night, the MBPA, the Must See Good Guys, Shades and Smiles, and the Strays. Now you might be thinking, why the MBPA? They only existed for like 3 months. Yeah, and in those 3 months, they went undefeated, winning the entire tournament and dethroning the tag champs. That's better than teams who existed all year. That's kind of what we ended up looking at. Stable of the Year, The Antidote, which was, now we have it here, James Costner, Chef Urban, Dion Blade, James Black, and Gabby Hitchcock. FBU, La Familia, The Strays, and Symphony of Destruction. Main Show of the Year, The Rumble, Mania, SummerSlam, Extreme Rules, and Full Gear. House Show, Revolution, Double or Nothing, Forbidden Door, Death Before Dishonor, and All Out. Match of the Year, we got a bunch in here. We got the Royal Rumble itself, Antidote versus La Familia at the Chamber. That was in the Chamber, if you recall. The Strays versus Match of the Night, Love is Hell in a Cell 2. Match of the Night versus the Good Guys, where you guys won those titles at Backlash. Dakota Alfine versus Honor Club, that's Stadium Stampede from Double or Nothing. The Money in the Bank ladder match itself, James Black, Luke Gray, Lexi Briggs, Midnight Rider, Mr. Glee, and the Arbiter. That's the European title match from All Out, the inaugural title match. James Blake versus Redhead for Extreme Rules. The only singles match on here, and that was the phone booth fight, which I said on this very show was one of my favorite matches because I love that write-up. FBU versus CT Team CT versus Infinity for the Survivor Series War Games, and the other War Games, Symphony of Destruction, Final Heaven, for Survivor Series. Sorry, not War Games. It was Survivor Series. So those are the matches of the year. And it does usually end up being multi-man ones. We've had that before where it's just like they're just the bigger epic things. Like the singles matches just don't hold the same weight it is for whatever reason with us. Even though for a lot of people, they like singles matches better for actual wrestling. It seems these are more for this, but that's just how we came up with those. Upset of the Year, Matt and Rab beating Honor Club at Stand and Deliver. Brits beating Honor Club at WrestleMania. Sorry, Honor Club, that's 2 in a row. We thought, people thought you'd win. Victoria Fury defeating Ash at Money in the Bank. Gaffer beating JJ at Extreme Rules. And Light of the Cult beating La Familia at Deadline. Again, former champions losing to Light of the Cult. That just happened, and there it is. Feud of the Year, Jonathan C.T. Martin versus FBU. Ralentando versus Hiro Shin Moses. Rate Wrestle versus RGX. The Strays versus Match of the Night. And Sebastian Escobar versus Smooth Rock. The Kayfabe Award, James Black stabbed Ash. Hawk cashes in at Mania. CT competes in the TWPL Best of the Exhibition League. Mystery attacks happening through SummerSlam. CT cashing in at Clash at the Castle. RGX attacks Costner at WrestleMania. These are out of order, as you can probably tell. Ralentando buries Hiroshin Moses at Clash. Scott and BeerMe, that's us, host Frontline in the Trenches for a whole year. We almost won this last year. We were runner-up. Strays ruin Match Night's wedding at Revolution. Yeah. And Mad Cat invades the FPL at Backlash. And then Master of the Mic, who has the best promos, be it video or written or graphic stuff, because like Costner does video or graphics and stuff in his promos. He does written ones. Some people do written ones. Guys will do like songs and stuff in theirs. You'll have the animated GIFs as well, and people like myself and Lee and RGX do video ones. So runs the gamut, depends on what works for you. But Alexander McKennedy, Captain Krulix Blackwell, CJ Hawk, James Costner, Jonathan C.T. Martin, Ral Nintendo, RGX, me, Scott, Sebastian Escobar, and Sherf Dog. He does videos as well. I knew there was a name I was forgetting. Face of the Year, Ash, Broken Nerd, CJ Hawk, Dion Blade, Lexi Briggs, Luke Gray, Monkey Bong, Rate Russell, me, Scott, and Red. I almost said Red. Red should be on here too. Sebastian Escobar, Heel of the Year, Bastion, BeerMe Jesus, the dastardly person on the other end of this call right from me right now. The GMSG, my friend and yours, James Blake, James Costner, Payne, Ralantando, RGX, Sherf Dog, and Smooth Rock. Turn of the Year, James Black turns on James Costner at day 1. So that's all the way back. We don't even have a day 1 for this year, so yeah, that's the one. The Arbiter turns on Tino at WrestleMania. Ralantando and Payne turn on Dakota Alfine at SummerSlam. FBU turns heel at SummerSlam, because you guys turned on like 5 people that night. And JJ Rocky turns on Hiroshi Moses at Clash at the Castle. Newcomer of the Year, Atlas Kiyama, Captain Krulix Blackwell, James Blake, J Mac, and Theodore Dr. Seuss Geisel. Theme Song of the Year is all of them. They're all listed here. And in a funny thing that we didn't realize, we did double up on theme song for one. I think Statement by Nefix was Death Before Dishonor, and I think we did use that previously somewhere. Like, we did actually use... Yeah, there it is. Stand Deliver also had that same song. We have an Excel Google Sheets kind of document for that. Oops. So yeah, whatever one you thought was best, split the vote on that one if you want. It's all there. But they're all here, and plus you get to see these awesome banners CT makes. They rock. They're awesome. And that's it. So, BeerMe, I'll scroll back to the top here. I just talked my throat raw during all that. The voting page is here and is live. How this is going to work, put your name in here, and then pick who you think. Rank your top. So if you think Alexander McKennedy is your number 1 pick, you give him the 1-pointer. And then you think Bastion's also, you put him for number 2. And then you put CJ Hawk for number 3 if you think that. Or if you think, no, you know what? Hawk is number 1. McKennedy's 3. No, McKennedy's 2 and Bastion's 3. Pick your gold, silver, bronze. Because that actually ends up doing a proper scoring to really flesh things out score-wise. And that's for all of it. Please do that for all the stuff. You pick your one show, obviously. You pick your one match. You pick your one feud. You pick your stuff like that. But please, go in there. Do your vote. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. We had a fun medal ceremony last year with the winners of that. Please also, this may sound silly, but don't vote in character. Vote honestly for what you really think it is. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm feuding with him. I'm not going to vote for him. No, if he's killing it, vote for him. Like, legitimately vote. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what you think is actually the best, please vote that way. That's all. BeerMe, just off the gate. Any names stand out? Far runaway winners, like Superstar of the Year? You think you got someone in mind for that? Maybe I lost BeerMe. Is he there? He stepped away. I knew this would happen. I knew this would happen at some point, and he just stepped away. So that'll be a thing we'll eventually get to, and we'll see what he says. So what I'm going to do, don't tell him, is I'm going to load up Hard to Kill, because this is the next show we have. And I've got the graphic here for Hard to Kill. It's right there. You can see it, and boom, there it is. Yeah. So Hard to Kill has a casket match with me, Captain Krulix Blackwell. It's just a hardcore match. We realized if we did a burial live match, that's a death match. But it's a casket match. It's me and Blackwell, so that'll be fun. The Fight Pit, that's also there, CT and BeerMe. Remember when we booked that originally? They were both champions? Not anymore. And then, yeah, the European Championship, the main event, the first show of 2023 for the FPL, is James Blake versus Matt Zion for the European Grand Prix Championship. That's kind of weird. That's super weird. That's insane. I never thought I'd see Matt in that position. But then again, I won a tag title with him. It shouldn't have happened, right? So Matt can do some crazy stuff. So BeerMe's not back yet, so I'm going to keep talking here and see, because we've got some matches to announce. I can tell you I've got a match to announce. I'll do it right now. He's got one too, but I'll do mine first while we wait. Don't know why I'm kind of quiet for this, but don't tell him. Don't tell him. It's Chef Urban, the FPL World Champion. We'll go 1-on-1, non-title, against the Pinner of Champions, Lexi Briggs. So Lexi, this new champion, can Lexi pin him? Can Lexi get that win? That's the match I have to announce. So that will also be at Hard to Kill. I realize now, BeerMe is probably just getting back, I think.
I am back right now.
Don't tell it, BeerMe, you're back. Oh, I kept going while you were away, saying, don't tell him this, don't tell him.
What I missed?
No, nothing at all. No, I announced my match for Hard to Kill. Because I mentioned we've got Blake versus Matt. We've got CT versus you. And we've got me versus Krulex in the casket match, right? I announced the FPL World Champion, Chef Urban, will go 1-on-1 non-title with the Pinner of Champions, Lexi Briggs.
Okay. Like that.
New champion. Let's see if Lexi can pin him. I did ask briefly, though, during all the stuff where I was listing off the Medal Ceremony ones, who do you think for Superstar of the Year? Anybody catch your eye for that, or you don't even want to say anything yet? You still got to ponder it.
I'm still going to ponder it a little bit. There's a lot of good choices in that. So that's probably going to be like the hardest one to pick, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes from that and what the votes are. It'll be a lot of fun. But what's your Hard to Kill match announcement, BeerMe? You've got one to announce too, right?
It might not actually be for Hard Kill. It might be for Rumble.
Oh, okay. I do have some
It is
Rumble
for
stuff.
Rumble.
Well, let's...
Yeah, I have no Hard to Kill. It's just Rumble.
Well, let's scroll to the Rumble. We don't have a graphic for that yet, but the Royal Rumble, we do know that the 30-man Royal Rumble will obviously be there. Their FPL World Championship will be Urban versus JD, as announced. He won the contendership. Watson rules Escobar versus Ralantendo, as mentioned, and it's been made through the promos and stuff. Ash versus Midnight Rider, that match is happening. Stipulation to be announced. We might have that. And look, King of the Ring. We'll get there in a second too. We'll talk about that briefly. What's your match to announce though, BeerMe, for the Royal Rumble?
Okay, I have. Of course, you give me this match. I have the MBPA, Alexander McKennedy and Dion Blade. They will be taking on the Light of the Colt, Danny Light, and Kirk Cole.
Well,
and
there
this
you go.
Is the title match. It is for the FPL Continental Tag Team Championship.
Oh boy, who have you got? Can you imagine after all that, Light of the Cult wins the titles in the first defense? Like,
I mean,
like just over a month later, they win. And
knock on wood, but I mean, Danny's riding the heater right now, dude. That guy's on a roll, and I really do want Light of the Cult to win, just for, it'd be a great story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to pick them, but if I was doing it smart-wise, I'd probably pick the MBPA because nobody's beaten them yet. So.
You'd put points on the MBPA, but you want the other ones to win. I got you.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anything else for the Rumble?
Nope.
Okay.
That's it.
What I've got is the King of the Ring stuff. So, the King of the Ring tournament. Here it is. No matches here yet. We will be announcing the participants and then their matches as we go. But the King of the Ring, it will start the Rumble. I'll just keep the Rumble graphic on here. Starts at the Royal Rumble. It will end at Revolution, because that's AEW, that's the main show. It will not affect anything for WrestleMania. It might feed into stuff for WrestleMania, but it won't get in the way of anything. So whatever WrestleMania plans are going, like, whoever wins there won't be... not a conflict. So that's good to go there. The winner will be named the first ever king, or queen, presumably, of the FPL. There is no guaranteed title shot or anything. Like, you're not winning a title shot. Let's just make that clear. But when you win a main show tournament of the best, you're probably going to be in line somewhere, like very briefly or very close. But it's not like winner gets the shot at Backlash. It's not quite that exact. But let's be honest, right? Like, if we're looking for a contender, the King of the Ring's probably going to be someone in there. But it could be for the world or anything, right? Like, I could potentially see it for a lot of places. So, the first round matches and bracket will be announced on the Twitter over the next few weeks. That's because I'm not doing trenches next week. And neither is CT, or maybe he is. As mentioned, I'm going to be on vacation and out of town and not taking any of my camera stuff or anything with me because I'm on vacation and seeing family for the first time in 3 years. It's more important. But yeah, next trenches is actually, funny enough, episode 100. So yeah, that's a fun one. It might be a case where we actually don't have an episode, and it's just like, Merry Christmas, we'll see you after that. I don't know the actual plan. I don't know. I just know I'm not. Whatever the guys do, I support it. BeerMe, if you're able to be on that, no problem. Whatever we got to do to make that work, it's all good. But that's why the announcements won't be on trenches, because they'll be on the Twitter, because Red's manning that, and that'll still be going. So, also follow on Twitter, Frontline League on Twitter. I think I called it Frontline Pod earlier, and that's not accurate. It's Top of the Card Pod, which is our podcast, as I mentioned. So, but yeah, that's all I've got, BeerMe. And this is potentially my last one before Christmas and New Year's, because I'm not back until like the 28th of December, and we might be doing a trenches, but probably not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably be. Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, you'd probably be like, wanting to just chill once you get back.
I'm coming back on a flight due to get in around 11:30 at night, and I work the next morning.
Yeah,
I'm probably not doing the trenches.
No. So I mean,
if we do it, it's going to be on the Thursday, back to normal. So we'll see. We might sneak one more in, but if not, hey, this is me saying Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, maybe even Happy New Year, because I might not be doing a trenches until 2023. Realistically, that's a possibility. There you go. What do you want to say to that?
Well,
yeah, go for it, BeerMe.
Just in case I'm not around either. I mean, if me and CT can't figure something out and it's just CT, I just want to wish everybody a happy holidays and a happy New Year.
Yes.
Oh, and Scott, have a safe trip and a safe trip back.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And yeah, everybody, safe travels. Safe travels of people coming to you, or safe travels to you going to others, whatever it is. It's an awesome thing, and the last thing you want is stuff like that impacting it, right? Like, you just want to get there. My flight is so early in the morning. It's like a 2-hour flight with a connection in Toronto, about an hour and a half, and another like half-hour flight. I'm still going to land at my destination at like 9:30 in the morning. After all that, that's how early it is. But it's worth it, because then I'll be there and have a whole day of it, and it's going to be great. Like, that's the stuff that matters, right? The real important stuff. We do this for fun. We do this all year with the Frontline Prediction League. This is our second year fully completed once the medal ceremony's done. Next year we are ramping up as best we can to cover everything that we can and have fun with it. The Saturday shows are fun. The double shots are hard. Ashley, can you hear me? Can you not hear me, BeerMe? Uh-oh.
I can hear you now. You cut out. I couldn't hear you.
I wonder if something happened with my headset. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it might have. I was like, okay.
Interesting. Well, as I was saying, and I'll say it again just to be safe, to make sure that it's recorded with sound, we did have that problem once where we had an episode with no audio. What I was saying is, for next year, we're ramping up. We want to make sure everything is covered as best we can. The Saturday shows are good, but the double shots are not. They're painful, but also fun. Like, they're super fun, but so stressful. I mentioned so much about the writing with CT and Red and myself. The Twitter stuff is Red. All the graphics is by CT. All the stats and profiles, that is GMSG. He deserves a lot of praise for that stuff as well. We're also only human, and we goof up. So, like, there's typos, like you saw. CT did the typo on the thing, and it's going to happen. I do error reporting for part of my job. People make mistakes when they type the same thing a lot or do the same. Like, it's going to happen. So we try to be as best we can with that and fix that stuff up. So please give him some love for that as well. And of course, BeerMe, thank you for hosting with me on this all year. We'll have CT probably fill in, or we gotta get you to do it on your own at one point, man. Like, you can do this. Yeah. Right. It might just be audio with the graphic, because I've got all this set up on my overlay. But no, we're ramping up. We're looking forward to stuff. I know there is a definitive internal mission statement about having. That sounds so weird to say, but it is true, about having everybody's WrestleMania moment mean something, and having as many as we can be part of it. And it's not a matter of like shoehorn them in on the card, but we want it to feel like even the singles matches are epic comparatively, not just like, oh, it's a good match. No, there's a reason. We've got time to build it. We're working toward that. That's all part of the thing. So that's part of the plan. And as I always say, please let us know whatever kind of stuff you want to work in. It's shared through into our shared booking chat. And we do have a document to make sure nothing is missed. Like I said, I've had my moments, absolutely, in sharing stuff and then not remembering it because life is crazy and hectic and nothing's an excuse, but reasons suck, and I hate the reasons. So there you go. But on the positive note, it is an awesome year. We look forward to our 3rd year of the FPL, our 4th year of running a league. That's a crazy thing on top of things. And yeah, let's have some fun in 2023. And hopefully I don't get buried in a casket match on Friday the 13th. Sounds good to me. Anything last you want to say here, BeerMe, for the last word? You already even said your Halloween message, your holiday message. But anything else you want to say? I'm getting scared. I got a casket match. It's Friday the 13th.
Right. Not really. Everybody said I hope you all have a safe holiday and a good holiday, and we'll see you in the near future.
Sounds good. So everybody stay safe. Do whatever travels you got to do. Be with family. Be with friends. Have a good one. We will see you when we see you. It'll be sooner rather than later, but I don't know when it'll be. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good night.